The following is a special presentation of the PDF Sports Network.
All right, good morning. You didn't see that? So, good morning. Give this another try. Live, all right. Let's see. Boom, there we go. So, good morning. That works, cool. All right, so now we're gonna go there. And now I can share. Got it. Okay. Fixed. All done. Group. There it is. I knew I was missing something. Got it. So, good morning. Players Lounge. Good morning. The alarm. 10 o'clock to the numbers. Look at us. All right. Give another minute or so. Let me just share to the other pages. New York Football Group. Football Association. Oh, the Players Group. Good morning. I was able to go down to the Atlantic City High School. Very cool facility, nice facility. And check out some youth games yesterday with HSG. Big shout out to HSG. Got some new equipment that we were testing out. On-field interviews, on-field camera. It was really dope. What up, Coach? Semipro, his no dogs only, shots fired. And, oh, there it is. NEAFL, what up, NEAFL? Midwest folk. Send me some film, big Midwest folk. Let's talk, let's not. EFA, no. There it is, that's the last one. EFA uncensored, it's no longer around. There's a lot of groups that have come and gone, so to speak, that are now history. Spread Central, cool. All right, so I think I got them all. Good morning. And we're sharing, and we're up. There we go. All right, so we're getting started. So it's Easter weekend, and we had a bunch of games on the schedule for NEAFL, and we had one game, Big East, and a couple of games for the ECFL. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring up the scores from yesterday. If you can't see along, here it is. Obviously, it's mirrored now, so I can't really mess with it. But anyway, in the Big East, one game on the schedule, Green Wave took care of business, 36-6. That was a 24.5 point spread, so they handled that. 31.5 on the over/under, so that was pretty close as well. So spread makers getting them pretty good on this one. In the NEAFL, we had the Panthers 50-piecing the Knights 50-0. That was a 17.5 point spread. Obviously, they covered that. Militia 21, Raptors 15. That was pretty much the game of the week. Militia now have a harder, the last bit of their harder games on the schedule before the schedule gets easier for them, as we spoke about before, when it comes to them holding the top spot in my rankings. Again, just my opinion. Don't get offended or get all upset about it. It's just one man's opinion. There's computer polls that came out, which a lot of people disagreed with because it didn't take into account strength of schedule, didn't take into account. It didn't take into account forfeits. So there's no way to make it perfect, but I think the pulling of all of those and everything in consideration, you pretty much get enough information out there to make it fun one way or another. So Militia 21, Raptors 15. That's a big win for the Militia because, again, they don't have many more impressive wins on the back end of the schedule. The Raptors are a pretty good team, and they went to the Raptors out in Reading and took care of business. So that was that. The unit looks like they are surging right now. 26-6 over the Wolfpack. Is that more of a reflection on the Wolfpack now starting to take a dive after such a hot start? We shall see. But the unit, based on what I saw in the footage, unit's playing some pretty good football, and that can't be ignored. In the last game, the Bullies beat the Vikings 24-2. The over-under in that game was 25.5, so it ended up being 26. Good job, spread makers. There you go. The Bullies, we'll go into the playoff picture in a few, but not really sold on them. They might have just dug themselves too big of a hole to climb out of it this time, but we shall see. In the ECFL, the Falcons had a big win over the Bulldogs, 21-6. In the other, we talk about pretenders and contenders. The Ducks and the Bulldogs were kind of like in that second tier. Are they gonna compete for the championship or not? Are they, one of the big three, so to speak? And the Ducks ended up scoring a huge victory, knocking out Hurricanes. Got hard, nice. Shoutouts to Militia Tapping on YouTube. That's what's up. So the Ducks ended up beating the Warhawks 27-13. Had control over that game. It was really, West. Yo, Drewski, pick up the phone when West calls you. You know the vibes. The Ducks and the Warhawks game. The Ducks played really good football. The Ducks' offensive line is actually pretty solid if you take a look. The drone cam with the indoor facility gives you a look that you don't really ordinarily get from an all-22 in a stadium-type setting. That straight-down look is actually pretty solid. Pause on that just in case. But the Ducks had the high, and then they had the letdown, and now they're back up there. Who knows? But the ECFL, at least the top for that matter, is getting interesting. So the Ducks make a move and knock the Warhawks off the ranks of the unbeaten. Today is 420. 420. Gotcha. Today is 420 and Easter. So yeah, there's a lot of celebrations. Look where my manners at. So happy Easter for the Christians out there. I think the Muslims, Assalamu Alaikum, I think are celebrating one of their holidays either on Monday or last Monday. So for those observing, Assalamu Alaikum. Happy Passover to my Jewish brothers and sisters. And for the atheists, what's up? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So 420 for those people, the Bleezys, of course. Happy 420. So yes, Ducks and Warhawks. Ducks make a move. Bulldogs fall flat. So these teams are up and down. The Cardinals seem to be surging, and the Cardinals are gaining some momentum. They beat the Bruins. Good news is the Bruins scored a touchdown, so they didn't get blanked. The bad news is they got beat 29-6. So that's a tough go at it. Is what it is. And we take it from there. So moving on, let's take a look next at Happy Easter. Trying to recap before best. Oh, sorry. So I just gave you the recap. Gotcha. Now, for this weekend, I got the spreads. There we go. And I'll post the spreads up. In the Big East, you got Crusaders and Golden Lions. Let me just... Can I do it this way? Oh, yes, I can. Look at me being fancy. Shit. This is on top of my my squirrel project. Yeah, long story. But nonetheless. So this is this weekend's picks. Big East, you have the Crusaders and the Golden Lions, 7.5 point spread. I think the Crusaders still have a lot of question marks just because we have not seen them a good body of work to be able to make a determination whether they are contenders or in that second tier. And as far as the Golden Lions go, again, we've spoken enough about the Golden Lions. It's just a matter of, are they going to get nice weather and get any of the other factors out of the way so that we could see them play football and be able to evaluate whether they are as good as we think they are or overrated. So this should answer a lot of those questions this week as the Crusaders head up to the Golden Lions. Although, big surprise, rains in the forecast for this weekend. So hopefully they can get a little bit of sunshine in, but we shall see. Wolfpack and the Bengals in what should be a defensive struggle or a lack of offensive struggle. Depends on whether you're a glass half empty or half full type of person. Got the Bengals as 8.5-point underdogs in this one, with the over-under being a crap ton of points at 19.5. On the next game, Green Wave play the Lions. This one I'll be at. It's up in Kingston at Deet Stadium, which I'm really excited. I haven't been there since their renovation project, which is cool. The Lions end up going into that home game as 11.5-point underdog against the Green Wave, who's playing pretty impressively, especially over the past 2 weeks. 37.5-point on the over-under there. Pretty much that's the game of the week. Dolphins and Black Panthers. Not sure where this game's going to be played. Last time the Black Panthers had a home game, they came all the way down to Westchester County, which didn't work too well for them. Right now, being that I don't know where the game is, we're going to set the spread at 18.5. The Dolphins, surging team, looking good, trying to get their first win, but have had little signs of promise and some rays of light, including at the on the offensive end. They're starting to make a move. Just couldn't get it done in overtime, but yeah, it is what it is. And that's a 27.5-point over-under. And then Vikings and Unit. I'm going to give you the breakdowns of these games in a second for the NEAFL from my resident expert. Vikings at the Unit. The Unit playing really good football right now. The Vikings just are not, quite frankly. Even when they play good football, they're making mistakes that take points off the board. And Unit are now surging, playing some pretty good football. So Unit 19.5 on the spread, as you can see. Tied Wolfpack in what was an anticipated game. I think it was more anticipated when both the teams were undefeated, but still got a little juice to this one. Maybe, just maybe, the Wolfpack knocked the Tide from the ranks of the undefeated, so we go from 5 overall to 4. Possibly. We should see it. In that regard, this could be the game of the week. Yeah, this is pretty much the game of the week in the NEAFL, as most of the unlike the Big East, the opposite of the Big East, I should say, the tougher matchups between teams that are closer in the rankings are occurring on the front end of the schedule for NEAFL. So now you have some of the larger spreads, as you can see, whereas in the Big East, the Panthers, who are on the back end of the standings, along with teams like the Black Panthers at the bottom of the standings, Dolphins, Crusaders, they are all winless at this particular point, but they're winless teams having played Green Wave, Golden Lions, and Wolfpack, who are at the top of the standings. That's kind of how it shakes out. So now you're seeing bigger spreads at the NEAFL, smaller spreads out of the Big East. Knights and Raptors. Knights haven't scored any points. Raptors have, so that is what it is there. And what could be an intriguing matchup, Owls and Bullies, not the game of the week because of just the records between these two teams. Again, if I get a chance to check out a game, it's going to be Tide and Wolfpack on this one. But again, we shall see. In the ECFL, Chargers and Raiders, as you can see, we can lock that in because the Raiders have folded. So the Raiders are at a 6-point underdog, and we'll lose 6-0, which is why the over-under is also at 6. Haha. Cardinals at the Ducks. This one is the game of the week overall. This is the game of the week for all three leagues. Cardinals and Ducks, and it's at the Ducks too. 2.5 on the spread. I would really like to see this. Hopefully they have the stream going up. Great job to those guys for getting their games filmed. They have at least 2 or 3 games streamed every single week where you can see them live action. Absolutely awesome. The last one on the schedule, also a pretty good one, because again, ECFL had the Crusaders on the clock. ECFL had the terrible matchups on the front end of the schedule, and now the top teams are starting to play each other, and the bottom teams are starting to play each other. So we'll find out. Warhawks, Bulldogs, that kind of gives us a pretender versus contender. Warhawks just got their first loss, so maybe I don't want to overreact, but I do have some footage of the Warhawks that makes me a little bit worried, making decisions, especially personnel decisions on the coaching end that didn't really like too much, but we shall see. When White Tiger was in the Ooh, interesting. Great breakdown there, Coach. So beautiful. All right, so back to it. So let me talk about these NFL games real quick. Our resident expert, see what he thinks. Ooh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So for Vikings at the unit have picked up steam and control their own destiny towards the #1 seed in the National Conference. And I'll go over the playoff picture in a few. They have 2 games remaining against the Vikings, which they should be heavy favorites in both. Not sure why the schedule laid out like that, but hey, whatever. We're going to figure it out in the playoffs anyway. Vikings are playing out the stretch with 2 games against the unit and 1 against the Eagles. Unit win big and cover the spread, in our spread maker's opinion. Tide Wolfpack, this is going to be the deciding game for both teams. Tide need to keep pace with the Militia, who have an easy schedule to finish out. A loss here may cost them the #1 seed, so that's what you need to take a look at, which they own off of points allowed tiebreaker. The Wolfpack's loss all but certainly cost them the #1 seed in the National Conference. The Wolfpack finished with the Tide, Knights, and Militia. The Pack can win this game, but they need to play better than they have in the last 3 weeks. So that's definitely the game of the week, Tide and Wolfpack. Again, we were trying to see whether the 2 Delaware teams, like in a conference, the conference. Next up, Eagles and Militia. Militia played a tough road game and looked sharp most of the game. The Eagles are sputtering fast. The Militia are 5-0 despite only playing 1 home game. Whew. They now get to spend the rest of the regular season at home. Militia should have an easy one this week at home. Militia, 17.5 point favorite. Next up, the Knights 0-5 at the Raptors, 2-4. Knights haven't scored all year. Raptors have lost 4 straight, but they get off the loss column this week because it's the Knights and the Knights don't score. Owls at the Bullies. The Owls are coming off being throttled before the bye week when the Bullies come off their best win of the season against the Vikings. The Bullies' 2 wins came against the 2 worst teams in the league, while their losses came against 2 of the best teams in the league. So the question is, who's that hammering? But the other question is, are they legitimate or not? So the odds maker says that the Owls could score an upset in this one. So that's why the spread is at 2.5. Let's check the comments. Kevin Johnson. Yes, Kevin Johnson, 80 yards, 7 carries. That yards per average is clutch. It is pivotal. So let's start with that one. I'm going to... hold on. How am I going to do this? I need some tech stuff going on here, but let's see. Bam. All right. So, am I glaring this thing? What am I doing? Okay. Oh, baby, so 40 inches. Okay, so here we go. From yesterday's game. Speaking of Kevin and the Green Wave.
Oh, quick screen left.
Nice little quick screen. Boom, boom, boom. Touchdown. Love it. Good, solid offense. See the opportunities. They do run the screen game, bubble game very effectively. And offensive linemen that know what they're doing and don't. Oh, look at the hold on. See, this is why I gotta get a better setup here, man. I gotta figure out something here, especially with HSG stepping up. I gotta step up my game on this one. Now look at the linemen on this one. They don't go downfield, right? Not going downfield before the throw, but then they get upfield in a hurry. And again, I'm just messing up.
Oh, quick screen left. Inside. Touchdown.
Boom. Very nicely done. You got the. Oh, I gotta freaking search the earth for tape, but it is what it is. Here we go, Kev. Again, messing up my bank account. Thank God the goal line was closer because even from 50 yards away, that would have been 6. So, yes, indeed. Good job, Kev. This is Militia now. I think we've established. now, Kev, the top running back in the league. Now let's think bigger picture let's look bigger picture for a second.
Third quarter, Beatty takes the snap, hands
Militia.
off his tailback. It's Collette who breaks free, and no one's gonna catch him. Inside the 30, 20, 10, touchdown, Militia. First play from scrimmage of this third quarter. Beatty takes the snap.
It's a tough run. Absolute tough run. Let's see it again.
This third quarter, Beatty takes the snap, hands off to his tailback. It's Collette.
And by the way, the Raptors running back had another one of those punishing NFL films type runs.
20, 10, touchdown, Militia.
So I know it's like in style to talk about. Let me cut the volume on this because that's annoying me. But I know it's now being in style to talk about, oh, everybody's trash and the football is trash. There's some really good running backs across these leagues, and these are some pretty solid plays. Just putting that out there. This is Ducks Warhawks. This was the go-ahead clincher. Look at that pass. Look at that window that he throws it in. I'm going to try to pause it where I need to, because this is a heck of a throw. Bam. Look at the window. Do you see the window he throws that in? That is amazing. That's good. That's good football. That is good football. Fake news. That is good football. Good job, Ducks, man. Absolutely. And this one, okay. Special teams. And there was conversations about special teams this week, right? And special teams is important. As you can see the score, Ducks are up 7-0. Warhawks are punting now. I'm not sure if you noticed, but who is in the game at this point? 93, 68, or 69, or whatever it is. Even 46, 95. I took a class with the special teams coach, from Clemson. And the first thing he said is, you have to have a weight limit on special teams. If you're over, and I think at that particular point, he said like 250. If you're over 250, get off of punt team. We want the athletes there. It's really for linebacker type body types when it comes to the line and such. And here's the reason why. When it comes to keeping the punt from being blocked, are the fat boys effective? Yeah, somewhat effective. However, where they become somewhat effective to completely ineffective, and again, they're not even trying to block this thing, is when they're trying to cover. And look, it looks like their feet are in fucking concrete. Look at this. I mean, they're jogging it out just to show coach that they were, not giving up. But that's not sound. That's not paying attention to special teams. That's just, let's just keep the offense out and then swap out the quarterback for the kicker. No, you have to be a little bit more purposeful on special teams when you play better football teams. And if it's keeping starters in there, I get it. But if it's keeping starters in there that can't move, there is no reason to do so. Crazy. This is Bulldogs and Falcons. Did the Bulldogs pull the did the Bulldogs catfish us? Did the Bulldogs catfish us? By the way, we still have a. Did the Bulldogs catfish us? Because the Falcons made short work of them. Or the Falcons that legit. Big shout out, Falcons. Ooh! Jesus. Yeah, bro, you got mossed on that one. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, you gotta make a better play on that ball. Break, get your head around, boom. Now, at that point, you got a shot, bro. You got a shot. And then the sideways, not really confident jump. And now you're on the ground. That doesn't make much sense. They'll start already on Resurrection Day. Is crazy. What's this one? More Bulldogs versus Falcons tape. Let's check out Bulldogs offense with the spread, bad snap, double pumps to the flat. That's no good. You don't want to do that. Did the Bulldogs catfish us? Now this is bad football. Well, bad quarterback play. Slow ass snap. How you pumping the flat and throwing the flat? That's crazy. Yeah, on a bye week, y'all talking about who played. We're talking about who didn't play. Drewski. Here we go. Red zone. Oh, we haven't seen a Morris Hilton sighting in a few. Boom. He's gonna run downhill. Breaks a nice tackle right there, and there you go. Good job there. Good dude, Morris Hilton is. So, there you go. That's, again, the breakdown of the games and how it happened. Falcons 21-6 over the Bulldogs. Again, Bulldogs catfished us. Cardinals took care of the Bruins. There was no film on that one. Warhawks get their first loss of the season against the Ducks. Big East game. Green Wave, impressive in the victory over the Hurricanes, 36-6. And in the NFL, we gave you the full rundown on that. Check in the comments. You look like Colbert. Jesus Christ. Drewski. All right, so let's go to the playoff picture. I got to get, Drewski's talking hellas. Oh, you like Drewski? Call in, my guy. Call in. All right, so let's start with NAFL playoff picture. This is how it starts to shape up. Over on the American side, the Militia right now have the number 1 seed, 5-0, but the Tide are also 5-0. So the tiebreaker on that, as you said, was points allowed, and the Militia hold the edge on that. The 3 and the 4 right now would be the Bullies at 2 and 3, and the Owls at 1 and 4. In the hunt, the Vikings at 1 and 4. And the Knights starving, but not really out of it completely yet. Gotcha. Sending the request. On the national side of things, as you can see here, Unit have the 1 seed at 5-1. The 2 seed Panthers 4-2. Greetings and salutations, my guy.
So, Patty, you see the difference in my conversation and shit when you do it at a human hour on a Sunday and not friggin' 7:30 in the morning. I'm awake, man. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So
shouts to Larry G too. I'll be busting his balls, bro. Pause. He's the best sport, you know what I'm saying? So salute to my bro. And happy birthday to your son, bro. But what up, Patty?
How you doing, sir?
Outside the gym, pre-Easter festivities with the kids, about to get this money.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm trying to set this. Man, I gotta work on my setup, man. I've been trying to get this.
Where you get that tape from, bro? I heard you ain't get no tape, boy. How you got all that tape all of a sudden?
See, that's the thing. When it comes to actual, I always have tape. I'm watching. And I'm scouring.
Hey, stop, yo, bro. You're not supposed to put your passcode up on the damn screen, bro. Dang.
Ain't nobody gonna find nothing. Good luck to you. So yeah, I do have plenty of footage. It's not always the all 22, but again, I can always take a look at what's going on in different settings and different angles and such. And I preface. Like when I don't know something, I'll say, hey, I'm not sure on this. I don't make a definitive statement on anybody or anything without knowing first, what it is. So if I have limited information, I'll preface by saying, hey, I got limited information. But not saying anything at all based on not having I'm just dropping shit all over the place. Based on not having everything. Yeah, there's no fun in that. So, Especially since I have my resident experts in the different leagues, which is dope.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have
So
friends everywhere with information when we do the things we do, isn't it?
indeed. Indeed. So it's not just me coming up with stuff. You know, my man Juan DePena, when it comes to having information about the NAAFL, Juan is solid as they come. Absolutely solid as they come. And since he doesn't have a team that's in the race, he can give an unbiased opinion, for example. But I got many more, you know, many more.
For sure.
So how you doing this morning, sir?
I'm good, man. Shouts to Amir. Amir's the reason we all got to get that game link for that amazing Militia versus Raptors game yesterday. Shouts to the Militia. That was my first chance to see the Militia play yesterday. So I think that leads up perfectly to what you're about to get into with the playoff picture now.
Yeah.
Wolfpack
So
in a row got me sad. That
uh-huh.
was my sneaky pick to win it all because a few of my friends are over there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the gist of it for the NEFL. Yo, good morning, Wes.
What's up, dog?
So what do you think about the militia?
Militia good, bro. I
Yeah.
gotta calm down on my shit talk. I think with the me in particular, we know they got skills, bro. Like we know they got skills. Jersey got skills. PA got skills. Delaware got skills. To see that the Militia also got a really good O-line, they got good quarterback play. I definitely I still think that the Green Wave got them, but the Green Wave got them if they got Warren. We haven't seen Warren in a while, so without Warren, I don't know if they got him at this point. I'll keep it 100. So that's where I'll make my little talk to me.
Yeah.
Let me say something real quick,
Go
right?
ahead. So before you do, who do you have overall? And I'll bring up my rankings overall for the whole entire. Oh, you know what? We don't have to bring up everybody. Let's just bring up the 5 that are left because the Warhawks got knocked off out of the ranks of the unbeaten. So here are your 5 undefeateds that are left. So rank them 1 through 5, sir.
You got to read them to me because everybody's screen is black.
So you have the Militia, you have the Green Wave, you have the Golden Lions, you have the Tide, and then you have the Connecticut Falcons.
Okay, so of course I'm gonna put Green Wave number 1, right? I'm going to put Militia number 2 just off the film that I've been seeing. 3 would be the CT Falcons. 4 would be the Golden Lions, and 5 is who was the last one you said?
The Tide.
The Tide. Yes, and that's only because of the season Tide had previously. I'm not 100% sold yet, but you know I see guys out there who make a difference, making a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Okay, so to your comment that you were going to bring up,
I was going to say this, right? Drewski, you said you don't know how niggas look without Warren or whatever, but I don't think people are giving Kai his flowers, bro. Niggas is not giving Kai his flowers.
No. I'm not. It's not that. I'm not gonna make believe. No. All right. So I'll be honest because I don't want to get into more fights with Rim. I'll be honest. I haven't seen anything but the highlights that have been posted since week 1 in regards to y'all. You feel me? I get the game breakdown shit from Kev because Kev always talks football to me. You feel me? But like the eye test, I haven't seen the quarterback you guys have now. So I'm not in any way trying to knock him. I'm just like the same way I do with everything else. I know Warren. I know what Warren is. I know what Warren has done. I know that not having him and having your backup in some way affects the overall. So what y'all having Warren, I'm confident enough to say, hell yeah, y'all could beat anybody. What y'all not having Warren, I'm not confident enough in Kai yet because I haven't seen Kai aside from highlights. I haven't seen Kai aside from highlights in the games y'all have post week 1. Haven't really been against maybe the best comp either. Not y'all fault, you feel me? But I want to see him against Kingston. I want to see him against the Golden Lions. I want to see him against the Crusaders.
Let me give you a quick breakdown,
that's
right?
Not on him either.
No. I get that, right? It's just that, like, all right, perfect example. Hodge just said Kai not a QB is simple, plain way to put it, right? That's not true. I can tell you this right now. I've been around a lot of quarterbacks in these leagues and shit like that. He's definitely a quarterback. Now, the only reason, right, you probably see him not starting is because we have guys like Juan and Chris who are only quarterbacks. You get what I'm saying? Kai plays quarterback, receiver, safety. You get what I'm saying? So he can move around, and so it's like, you know, why waste Chris and Juan when, you know, and have him behind Kai? But I'm not saying that Kai is better than any one of them, but what I am saying is
Kai's getting busy.
He's really good. Yeah, he's
That's
way
respect.
more accurate than I gave him credit for before I got there. And also, even though he can be a bit of a hothead sometimes, what he is though, he is a leader, bro. He's calm, cool, and collective. He's what you want your quarterback to be in the huddle. He got mad, you know, he got control of the huddle. He got command of the offense. He knows all our plays. Rim runs the kind of offense where we say the whole
Pat,
fucking play from beginning to
because
end.
Hodge is talking crazy. I'm not gonna lie, not
He's
crazy.
not one of those. What do you mean he's not? Come on, bro. He's like,
Punch
he
is
can
ducking.
really
You know,
go.
Kadeem ducking right now.
I hear you. Right now,
Kadeem's perspectives can't be taken 100%. I'm sorry, Pat. West side. One shot. He can't be taken seriously because he's still bigging up his quarterback. He runs from shit with his quarterback. So if you're not gonna keep it real with your quarterback, nah, you gotta keep it real around.
I said I like Larry when I first seen him. I said I like son. He definitely got it. I was like, who the fuck is number 3? You get what I'm saying? He was doing this thing. Now, has he, you know, continued to keep that level of play up? I think it's a team thing and not just the quarterback. You get what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of factors that go into the success and the trashing of a QB. But I'm not talking about him right now because, like we said, the niggas ain't even played this week.
ADHD.
Right.
Now here's the thing though, right? And going back to what you said, Drewski, about me finding film, every people that follow what I do know that first thing on Sunday I post 1 or 2 plays from each of the games as of my, plays of the week or kind of look out for. And I don't do a full Bleezy breakdown on it, but I mentioned some things. So this week, out of the ones that I posted, notice that the key is in the offensive line play. Right? So the offensive line play on that screen pass on the touchdown in the Green Wave game, the linemen were making sure they didn't release too early. They looked completely in sync when they were blocking second level after the completion. And damn, if the goal line wasn't right there, they would have kept on going. You could have gone 300 yards before somebody touched it. You know what I'm saying?
Pat, I'm glad you brought that play up too, because this is very specific and this shit pisses me off, right? I play football. I expected to be violent. If I was pussy, I wouldn't play, right? That's just me personally. So when I'm out there and I'm running down the field to go look for a body, motherfuckers are sidestepping and moving out the way. And one of them say, "Oh, I'm not about to get that smoke." How you intend on playing a game?
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. You have no intent of being. So you're just gonna let Cavs score or whoever score because you don't want the work. And that's what I said. Half that team got hot. I said half the team got hot and the other half didn't have heart, bro. It's a lot of them out there that didn't want no type of physical contact, bro. It's crazy.
Maybe it comes out. Who knows?
Thank you, boss.
Yeah. So, Drewski, your homework assignment, because now we're talking about all 3 leagues in tandem, and we go back to the remaining undefeateds. Take a look at the Ducks Warhawks game, because it has the drone camera and it's indoors, so the lighting is even, like everything is perfect to see the offensive line play. And when you look at the offensive line play for both the Ducks and the Warhawks to a large extent, you're getting, again, the 3 number 4 teams in the league. So I'm not even trying to, work one over on you with showing you the best of the best. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Okay.
So take a look at the link on the ECFL website. I'll send it to you, and take a look at some of the movements on there. I was at the youth game down in Atlantic City yesterday. By the way, big shout out to Ron, because Ron Jr. caught the game-winning touchdown pass in the last game yesterday. It was absolutely electric.
Amen.
Make sure you check that out. I posted his highlight on my own page. The dude came up big in overtime too. Game-winning walk off, the whole bit, the whole bench, the stands cleared, and lifted dude up in the whole bit. It was absolutely amazing. So big shout out to Ron and those dudes. But there was a couple of kids that pulled across formations and delivered crunching blocks and sealed the edge with like purpose and things like that. So when you look at, going back to AAA, AA, to me, the biggest thing is the offensive line. And if you have offensive line that are blocking with purpose and blocking with technique, as opposed to just, I'm just trying to not to get my quarterback killed, so I'm going to pass block on every play, regardless if it's dive or, all streaks type of thing, then it is what it is. Oh, damn. Was my statement like that where it just, okay, so I guess we're moving on.
Nah, look, but that's a fact though. Like, a lot of guys be behind bad lines, so you don't get to see how good they really are. But you do got to pay attention to the throws they make when they can. You feel me?
Yeah.
So and people judge a lot of niggas out here because they throw an errant pass. But remember, they throw an errant pass under duress after 3 quarters of getting hit. Shit like that. You got to pay attention to the other factors when it comes to semi-pro for real, which a lot of people don't do.
Right. So exactly. So a player that may be an athletic quarterback has a better shot, a way better shot of being able to be successful with a line that has technique, as opposed to, a line that's just out there for the sake of being out there, and I just have to play a position, and this is what I'm choosing to do. So as I get my raggedy ass set up all taken care of, sorry about that. Boom. So these are your remaining unbeatens, 1 through 5. This is who they have left. The militia. Now, here's the thing. What is the path for any of these teams to go from where they're at to unseating the militia? The militia have Eagles, Panthers, and Wolfpack left on their schedule.
That's 3 teams that they could lose. Well, 2 teams that I see that they could possibly lose to.
No. I think they're going to run that table. But here's the thing. They're going to run that table, but those wins are not going to be impressive wins. So when it comes to their style points, they are out of style points.
Sorry, dudes. Got a call.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, you said Wolfpack. Who and who?
Eagles, Panthers, Wolfpack.
I think they could lose to the Eagles and the Wolfpack for real. No, not the Eagles. I'm sorry. Not the Eagles. I'm sorry.
The Panthers and the Wolfpack.
The Panthers and the Wolfpack. Yes, I think that. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying that they definitely can. Especially, the Wolfpack has a good defensive line. It looked like from what I'm seeing.
Our mans is there. That's same shit I be saying, nigga. Because our mans is there. They got hitters over there, bro.
Who over there?
They got fucking Drew over there.
Oh, Drew. Okay, I didn't know Boots was over. Oh yeah, he was.
That's what I'm saying. They got a few little sneaky Philly side dudes that went down to Chester to get it going, or
because every time I look up, one of them is in the backfield making a play. You feel me?
So Drew, the number one. You think the militia run the table and stay undefeated?
Like, I do.
If they gonna lose, they gotta get it out the way early.
Nah, I don't. That's the thing. I could very easily see them walking through the last 3, but just like Wes said, the Panthers, one of those teams that had a bunch of close games against all the top teams. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So they haven't played the militia yet, so that might be a down to the wire type game.
All right, well,
and then
hold on. So out of these 3 games, how many quality wins are left on their schedule?
Really though, 2.5. I give the Eagles. The Eagles not total trash, bro. So 2 definitely go. 2, not total trash.
That's what they not. They definitely not total trash.
I was saying. I think you being sarcastic. My fault, bro.
No.
So I wouldn't give them. I wouldn't give them a full 3. Pause just in case. But 2.5.
You're falling for the setup right now, right?
It's cool.
Cool. All right.
No, bro. Yesterday. Listen, bro.
You see the trap.
I see the trap, but I see. I don't know why the Tide aren't over the Golden Lions right now, considering the formula. So
okay,
we could run traps all around.
Oh, okay, got it. I dig it. So the Green Wave have Kingston, the Bengals, the Crusaders, and the Golden Lions. How many quality wins do they have left on the schedule?
All right, so you see how we just did I gave the militia 2.5. The Green Wave got 3 because the Kingston Lions is 1, the Golden Lions is 1, and again now because we know like this is where I know people get mad when you use like opinion based shit and intuitive based shit, but we know regardless of record, regardless of location, that Bengals game is gonna be a fucking slugfest at least for a portion of the game, and that Crusaders game is gonna be a slugfest for at least a portion, regardless if even if the Crusaders are owing whatever at the point of that game.
Right.
That game's not gonna just be a walkthrough for the Green Wave. So I give them within the 4, 3 quality wins. Same thing with the Bengals. So I took a lot of shit to the Bengals because Edgy pissed me off when he was calling my phone off the hook. But I really like Edgy. That's really my brother. That's why I could bust his balls for a little while, pause, and then get back to talking shit real life. So yeah, that's 3.
Okay.
So I give them 3.
Wes, do you agree with that?
Nah, I say like 1, if that.
Ooh, that's
you know what I'm saying?
All right, so that's problematic. Now, assuming
Yo, Wes,
that
you being an arrogant fucks you up with Pat's play. You fell right into it. Like
he fell right into it. So,
I'm not being arrogant, bro. I really
how
really
is
thought
one
about this shit.
game? How?
how?
I'm sorry,
the
Pat. I don't want to
Golden
stick your
Lions,
shit up, Pat.
No,
Yo,
go
bro,
ahead,
the Kingston Lions are trash?
How?
I don't want to say anything about the Kingston because I honestly don't know nothing about them. I haven't watched no film or nothing. I know nothing. I don't know.
And by the way, going to Kingston.
I'm
going to
just finding out where that shit was at
bro,
yesterday.
That's why, I was supposed to work that game with Pat, and I saw that shit was 2.5 hours, and I'm like, nah, I can't do that, Pat.
Nah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just found out where that shit was at yesterday, so I know nothing about them.
Come on, Drewski. I'm driving. I'll take the convertible so you can Bleeze up, bro. I'll roll up with you, dude.
Yeah, Pat gonna smoke the big coheed. Now I was thinking about that yesterday. I really might do that, Pat. I just gotta see. I need like another day or 2 to see what my week's gonna look like, and I'll let you know for sure on that.
But look, let me give you my explanation as to why, bro.
Because Kingston been good all year, bro.
Okay, so I'm not gonna count on some shit I don't know about, so I can't say yay or nay with them, right? Crusaders, like, let's be real for real. It won't be a slugfest for no part of no game.
What?
Due to the fact, I'm being 100%, bro. Because I said this shit last year. The reason they went to the chip last year is because there was no competition in this shit whatsoever, right? So as you can see, now that there's a little bit of comp in it, they don't even have a win in their under their belt. And I don't care how many games were close. Right?
Forfeit. What did you return the field?
Yeah, you coming back from going to the chip game to having no wins, like that tells me everything I need to know.
Talking like a motherfucking Seminole ass nigga.
I'm not talking like I'm talking like a nigga who been winning for a long time. I know what it look like. They don't.
All right.
I've been winning on other teams other than the Seminoles, bro. Don't do that.
Pharaohs.
You feel me?
I don't want to say the Pharaohs because Juju gonna pull me up. I don't want no problem with Juju.
I've been with Mariners. I've been winning Mariners. I've been winning on the Kings, nigga. Like my 1 year on the Kings, we went to the chip. Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know what winning looks like, bro.
All right. So okay. So now, if you're saying one, now I'm gonna go with what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take the rankings as credible, right? And again, to each his own and provolone, but whatever. In order for the Green Wave to leapfrog into the 1, you're looking week to week, and if the militia have more quality wins left on their schedule than the Green Wave does, then if both win out, the militia stays 1. You would agree with that?
I would agree with I agree with that. But in another aspect, I honestly like whatever the militia got going on over there don't got fuck all to do with us for real, because that's a whole nother league.
Nah,
so
yes.
Overall rankings though, bro. It's rankings.
Yeah, man. And you're Nationals, dude. So how you saying it don't matter?
But listen, hear me out, right? If we go undefeated and they go undefeated and we win the chip undefeated and they win the chip undefeated and they still number 1 ahead of us, then what the fuck can we do? There's nothing we can do that could change the outcome of
football. And shout out I-95 Classic, by the way. Bowl series coming up. But go ahead.
That's it.
Okay.
I-95 Classic. Let's make it shit.
Listen, that's not. I personally, I've never lost to the militia in my whole life. You feel me? So, there's that.
Different militia,
I hear you, right?
All these teams are different, man. Tide different, Wolfpack different. All these teams are different.
I think it only looks different because the big stepper's not around. That's what
Green
it
Wave,
is.
I never
Green Wave
played the
different.
Jersey
Everybody
militia though,
different.
bro. You never played. Where you ever played? You played the CT militia, not the Jersey militia.
Oh, it's a different team. I thought it was the same
Oh
niggas.
my
No, nigga.
God! Come on,
Bro,
Wes.
CT
Come
is
on,
above
Wes.
New York. Jersey's below New
I
York.
didn't
Them
know
niggas is like
they was
5
Jersey
hours
militia.
from
Come
each other.
on,
They like
I
Wes.
hear
5
militia.
hours from each other,
Look, I
Wes.
hear militia. I think militia, bro. I
Nah,
never
them
heard a
CT,
specific
them
thing.
CT
But
niggas was peons.
he thought it was a team that hasn't existed in 3.5 years, 4
I'm not.
years.
I'm good for them. They came back. You feel me? Like
Oh
I'm
my
RIP them. We
God!
RIP them that year. We
Dude.
RIP them, I think, in
So
2017. Yo.
So Drewski, we back on this thing. Wes, you got to sit out on this one.
No, because
So
they look. I watch some of the militia, like a bit of a here and there, because I be at work.
no, you
They
didn't.
look, bro. They listen. I'm trying. I watch it on mute and shit, bro. They look like it don't feel no different to me, bro. They run. They look like the same nigga. No, I have yet to watch them like, oh, these niggas look a lot better. They just look like they beating up on the niggas they supposed to beat up on. Every
That's what they say
every
about
time I
y'all.
watch one of their games,
That's what they say
they comp
about y'all,
hasn't
bro.
been lit.
I mean, they're beating who they're supposed to be. So now here's the thing. I disagree with you, Wes, and I'm
Mhm.
more in tune with what Drewski is saying, which is by the time, let's say, Militia play Eagles, okay, I'm not impressed. Militia run through the Panthers, I'm still not impressed. By that time, if the Wave have gone through the Lions, the Bengals, and the Crusaders with no issues, then we're talking about flipping these. Agree or disagree, Drewski?
I give the Panthers more credit than you give the Panthers, bro. But it's for the reasons that it's the same reasons that I give the Bengals and the Crusaders the credit I give them. So again, that's just my personal approach to it. The Panthers lost games. The games the Panthers lost, they lost in a similar fashion to how the Crusaders have been losing games this year, and they still have a above 500 record, if I'm not mistaken.
By the
So,
time they play, they'll have a sub 500 record.
oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I could smell a winner.
I still
That's my thing.
consider the Panthers. I don't know, Pat. Like I said, and they had that game where Reese, again, it's woulda, coulda, shouldas, but I saw it. I can't unsee it. One of the games they lost very controversially. A lot of replays in hindsight showed that he actually might have really caught the ball, and he maybe should have had a win over a very high quality opponent. You feel me? That they didn't get.
I see.
So it's like,
Okay.
yeah,
All
bro.
right. So let's turn the page to the Golden Lions. What do the Golden Lions have to do, if anything, can they do to get to one?
Yeah,
they got Crusaders, Pack, Wave.
To get to one, they need help, but the help they need, they got the Wave. They got to beat the Wave. That's number one. But that aside, they need I think the Militia to lose a game. You feel me? Because where I say the Green Wave have been winning, but they've been winning impressively. You feel me?
Yep.
The Green Wave is putting up buckets, so it's like the style points are also there. The Golden Lions don't really got the style points. They getting the W's, but they don't got the style points. So if they win out and the Militia lose a game, then that's the only way I see the Golden Lions potentially getting the first overall.
Everybody stop for a second. Everybody stop for a second. I do have to say this. Oh. Molly has a more yards per carry than DeJoure does.
It seemed kind of back. That's because Mally's another 300-pound bruiser.
If Molly ends up with more yards per carry than DeJoure, I might have to throw in another side or dessert or something.
But
you're trying to make him fatter, bro, so he can't do it no more. I see what you're doing.
Nah, that's a bet me and Pat got. And shouts to Mally. 20 yards of carry.
I do not like you, Molly. I still do not like you, but Jesus Christ.
Yo, dude, I'm gonna be there at 12 o'clock. Link me, you heard, Pat?
Copy. Oh my goodness. So what do the Tide have to do? Now keep in mind the Tide and the Militia do not play one another. Tide have Wolfpack, Owls, Panthers left.
Oh, that's good.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. bro. You gotta. Bro. I think it's a styles match, bro. It's gonna make good football. I'm not saying like it's gonna be fucking. I think it's gonna be good games. You feel me?
The
Like
Owls are a 1-4 team now, and this is
you
exposing
was
that.
just bigging up the Owen whatever Crusaders.
No, but the Owls are almost done with their season, and we've been going through the front end of the schedule. That's a great point. So the Owls were like when they were 0-1, we're like, oh, it's still the Owls. 0-2. Oh, you know what? The Owls, they usually surge later on. 0-3. Oh, damn. This might be an issue, but hey, Lester Cream, they usually pull it together late. Correct me if I'm wrong, Drewski. Didn't we say that the first month of the season?
I don't even look at the players they have once I know it's the Owls. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, everybody was like, oh, don't count them out, don't count them out. The only win that they have so far is against the old fur team that hasn't scored a point all year. So I get it. The name, and this is, you guys get that name brand recognition.
Okay.
Don't look at what.
Let me ask you a question. What's the Owls record?
Right now, they're 1-4.
What's the Panthers record?
Panthers. Where the hell are the Panthers at? 3-2.
Yeah, they're above 500, bro.
So you're making my point. The Tide they have one win, meaning they're right where their competition level needs to be. I feel like it's going to be a good game, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
One win, the Tide undefeated.
Oh, I thought he said they had one win.
No, the Owls got one win.
Oh shit.
Tide undefeated.
Oh, so they good. All right.
Yeah, that's one of the undefeated teams. So when you look
you said the Tide was 1-5. I'm like,
no,
okay.
No. And again, it was easy to think, oh, the Tide must be, losing. But man, the Tide are 5-0. They got at the Wolfpack, Owls, and Panthers left.
Now, I know my son Omar was going off over there. They losing. It's crazy.
Yeah. So the Bullies, Owls, the Panthers. Panthers are on this side. Panthers are. Oh, I'm sorry. They're 4-2 now. They have a bye. Then the Militia and Tide. You know what?
Listen, the Panthers are super quality, bro. Super.
Okay.
And they got cheated week 1, bro. They should be 5-1 right now, bro. They super good, bro. Super.
All right. And hold the 2 seed. You were right. You got that. You got that.
Yeah, all right. Shouts to my Panther guys.
We gotta at some point we gotta make sure we go back to the Bleezy board to see who picked what for real.
Oh yeah. I know my pick. My picks were solid. So now you have okay. So the Tide. So we're looking at that Panthers game differently. Okay, I got it. What about the CT Falcons? Because they play in a top-heavy league, but they have the Ducks who upset the Warhawks and a team in the Warhawks that was just undefeated. So they have the best quality opponents moving forward to finish out. And they've been putting foot to ass to everybody so far.
I mean, that Warhawks game probably gonna be real good. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know who number 4 is on the CT Falcons, but that boy was balling the fuck out.
Yes, he definitely was.
Jesus, like he got one of the viral hits.
Yes.
You feel me? And he was playing receiver. I ain't gonna lie, I'd be damned if a nigga that play receiver ever hit me like that. You out your fucking mind. God damn, bro. But I'd be damned if a lot of people hit me like that. But you said they got the Ducks and the Warhawks. I think the Warhawks is gonna be the ipso facto on how good they really are.
Gotcha. So if they handle both of these games like a cakewalk, do we move them to 1?
Even if the Falcons make it a fucking dogfight and they barely squeak one out, we can move them up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing too. Is like it's easy. All right, if you could blow a team out that you're better than, that's one thing, right? But when you match with a team that got talent and you play through adversity or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the dramatics, that's the flair of it. It makes a better story and it's great for morale. Because you know what I'm saying? You beat a team 90 to something, 90 to 0. You're like, all right, cool, it's whatever. But if you win a dog fight 24-20, you walk away feeling a lot better about your team. Like, look what we could do when we fucking have to.
Good point. So this is the ECFL playoff picture. The top 4 seeds, and then everybody else. So really, it's a 5-team race. Falcons undefeated. They have the Ducks and the Warhawks left. The Ducks now made their move. They're 4-1, and they have the Cards and the Falcons, or at the Falcons left. The Warhawks dropped to 4-1. They have the Bulldogs and the Falcons left. The Bulldogs are fourth. They have the Warhawks left because the Raiders have folded. So they right now are really at 4-2. And then on the outside looking in is the Cardinals, who have the Ducks and at the Chargers. The Chargers, sorry, love them to death, but that's going to be an easy win for them. So, without saying it, but let's say it, that's 4-2 right there. So they're going to be battling for that 4 spot.
Okay, so to me, the Cardinals have been a letdown. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought they were going to be a lot better than what they are now. Um, so you said they have the Ducks and the Chargers left, right?
Yeah. And keep in mind, they started out 0-2. Like, you're going to have.
Okay, so they won out so far.
Yeah. So, like, do you prefer a Cardinals team that started 0-2 or a team that's on the skids with maybe possibly the Warhawks or possibly the Bulldogs who will be
Now,
on a skid later on in their schedule?
The Warhawks kind of control their destiny with these Bulldogs. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They also they got to get past the Ducks as well, which I feel like they might be able to get past the Ducks. But like I said, the Warhawks kind of control their destiny because if the Warhawks wind up losing to the Bulldogs for some reason, that still keeps them out the picture. Correct?
Yeah. But okay. I still can't get out of my head the Bulldogs getting slapped around by the Falcons. You got 21 zips. The week after beating the Ducks.
I mean,
so listen, the Ducks only loss was against the Bulldogs.
I'm not going to lie to you. Ever since the Falcons left New York football alone, they've been on the up and up. They got the fuck out of Dodge and they've been doing their thing. So big ups to them or whatever. But I don't know. I still see the Falcons. I feel like it's going to be the Falcons and the Warhawks in the chip. Not gonna lie.
That's your default?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I look up, the Warhawks is in it somewhere.
Yeah, but here's the problem. The Warhawks just lost at home, which is their strength.
That's very true.
That's a tough one. So if the Ducks let me down, they really did. I was on the Duck bandwagon for a while. I'm gonna get back on that bandwagon. I'm gonna say Ducks and Falcons in the chip.
See, look, all right. With me being a Pharaoh as long as I've been a Pharaoh, I'm gonna tell you how this go, right? The Warhawks is gonna play the Falcons, right? The Warhawks is gonna lose to the Falcons. Then they're gonna see the Falcons in the chip, and there's gonna be a dogfight after that.
So if we're filling out the break, because seeding definitely is gonna play a factor, right?
Uh-huh.
So if we're looking at seeding right now, the Falcons at 1 would play the Bulldogs at the 4. At the Falcons. The Falcons have made short work over the Bulldogs. I think that's a bad matchup for the Bulldogs, and that's a very favorable matchup for the Falcons. Ironically, I think the Cardinals, if they squeak in and knock the Bulldogs out of the 4, the Cardinals present a bigger issue to the Falcons than the Bulldogs do. That's my hot take.
Yeah, I mean, because it definitely can happen. So it's like it all depends on what the Ducks do to either team. You get what I'm saying? Because they can fuck around, they can lose to the Falcons and then beat the Cardinals and throw everything out of whack. Or they could really fuck this shit up and beat the Falcons and the fucking Cardinals.
Right. But right now, you see the Ducks and the Warhawks are headed for a rematch, but with the head-to-head tiebreaker, the Ducks would be home, and the Ducks already went up to the Warhawks and beat them handedly, by the way, by 2 scores.
The Ducks still got the running backs.
Ducks got a running game, and I posted the video of the quarterback threading that needle on that go-ahead or the clinching touchdown that put the game out of reach. That was a thing of beauty. He weaved it between 3 defenders.
Yeah, when you got a quarterback that can spin the pill, it makes everything a little easier on everybody's life. I don't know. The thing about the ECFL is like it's anybody's fucking game when it comes to the ECFL for real.
Absolutely, indeed.
Well, except the bottom feeders, but the top 5, like for it to be top 5 heavy, would it be in what 5, 6, 7, 8 teams? That's dope.
Well, unless you're the Raiders who are 0 and everything, the Bruins who are 0 and everything, and then
I mean, every league got some Owens. You feel
nah,
me? But
no league has 3 of them though.
3. How many we got? How many
Uh,
big we got? We got
3 right now.
Exactly. That's 3 right there too.
Yeah, that's 3 right now. They're literally they're 3 weeks ahead of you guys.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that's the toughest part. Is I mean, the only wins that the Bruins and the Chargers are going to pick up are forfeit wins against the Raiders.
Yeah.
So they're like nothing. But everything else in terms of the other 5 is very evenly matched. The fact that the top 4 teams, the way that their losses are distributed are completely random. Like the Warhawks lost to the Ducks, who lost to the Bulldogs, is pretty wild. And then the Cardinals over here, it makes for some good football. Let's turn to the Big East. Actually, let's turn to NFL real quick and their playoff picture. Right. So right now, Militia had the 1 seed, Owls had the 4 seed. My opinion, they let too many teams into the playoffs. That's just my opinion. I think we could eliminate this semifinal in the conferences. I do like the conferences, whatever, even though they're in the same geographic region, especially with the 2 Delaware teams being on opposite sides of the conference. Pretty unique. Okay, cool. I'm not going to judge one way or another. But a Militia Owls game to me is pointless for a playoff game.
Yeah, but shouldn't the Militia have like a bye week? Like, what's up with that?
Because they let 8 teams in. That's why nobody gets a bye.
Okay. I mean, that's cool.
To me, that's a waste. That's a waste of time.
Yeah, because I'll be damned if some team with 2 wins is in the play. I hate that shit.
Right. So on the other side, you have the unit at 5-1 with the 1 seed. But here's the thing: the national side, and this is actually perfect. If you were looking at the conferences as 2 separate leagues, the national is very intriguing. They only have 1 team that's kind of like on the outside looking in and is on life support, which is the Eagles at 1-4. But even the Eagles have the Vikings and the Bullies left in their schedule. The Militia, they're going to take a loss. So they're at 1-5. They could finish at 3-5. And 3-5 could get them into the 4th spot. So all of that is somewhat competitive. Even an Eagles team at 3-5 playing a unit team at 7-1, it's not the end of the world. It's not the best football, but it's not the end of the world.
Hey, listen, I fuck with the unit, so
Right. So on the 2-3 game, Panthers Wolfpack, that's going to be a game. Winner loser goes home. Panthers versus Wolfpack, that's going to be that's a hell of a game. I like that. Mm-hmm. Now on the American side, again, the 1-4 game, Militia and Owls, whatever. But again, without that, you don't get this side. The 2-3 is right now the Tide and the Bullies, which still not all that great of a matchup. And then on the outs is the Vikings and the Knights. We really don't need to see them play any more football outside the regular season.
Ain't the Bullies ass, from what I can remember?
The Bullies went from champion to absolute the worst title defense in the history of title defenses.
Yeah, we seeing that right now too. Over
here. Yeah,
but I never even heard of the Bullies before for real. So I thought that was some brand new shit like they made up on the fly.
One of those teams that you always see in the rankings at the end of the year. They're the team. I believe that they play in nationals often, but they don't really advertise in the New York market. They don't really have a heavy presence in the New York market.
Where they from?
That's a good question.
You can't just be the Bullies. You got to be from somewhere.
They're bullies. Oh, I had this. I think they're South Jersey, like South Jersey, like Pine Barrens type of South Jersey. Somebody help me out in the comments. I definitely had that info. I'm pretty sure because I was looking to see yeah, it's either Bridgeton. There's a team in Bridgeton, and then there's a team in Jackson. I'm not sure which. I might have them flipped. So,
Yo, why we got the Kingston game at 2 p.m., bro?
why not? I mean, it's a beautiful stadium. It's an absolute beautiful stadium. I don't think that they have like an open, like you can just play there wherever you want type of deal going on. I'm it's Cumberland County, so it's South Jersey. There you go. Yeah, I'm excited. And the stadium's absolutely gorgeous, and I'll be there with HSG, so it'll be really dope. It's gonna be a good time. What else you got to do at 2 o'clock on the damn Saturday?
I can't even call out of work that day. That's the problem. So I gotta like get there and get back.
There you go. It's worth it. Nice facility, brand new, upgrades and stuff like that. And again, I like that type of stuff. So
Listen, I gotta go because I can't afford an L right now. We on the roll. You get what I'm saying? I like to be able to talk my shit, and nobody can say nothing to me.
there you go. I agree.
Whatever,
So
dude.
Big East playoff picture, of course, 1-2. You got Golden Lions and Green Wave, both locked up at 4-0. They're interchangeable. Again, Wave is not technically at 2. And to tell you the truth, will this seeding make a difference? We'll see. Right now, all the action is over here, right? So we talk about that all the time. So let's move over here. Wolfpack at the 3, Bengals at the 4, Kingston Lions at the 5, which I think is going to change, and the Canes at the 6. You don't think the Lions are going to change this week because they have the Green Wave. However, when you look at the Kingston Lions, they have Green Wave, Crusaders, Dolphins, Bengals, Canes. There's a bunch of winnable games in there. Let's say they end up at, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2. 6-2 will get them to the 3.
I don't know. I think the Bengals might be able to do something with them, and the Dolphins for real.
Bengals and the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Going up to Kingston?
Oh, they go to Kingston. Never mind.
Yep. So it's gonna be tougher again. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion.
Ain't he going with a bus though? I know that much.
There you go. Get the bus going. There you go.
He gonna get his guys. He gonna make a couple of stops on the street. See a couple of niggas at the gas station. Ask if they want to play. It's up.
So now, if you're looking at this, right, and let's say Kingston shifts over here and now bumps everybody back. So you got Wolfpack, Bengals, Hurricanes, and on the outside looking in, Crusaders have to make moves. Dolphins have a lot of work to do, and the Black Panthers, we're going to say, are just working towards next year, right?
I mean, I'm going to say they're all working towards next year for real because it's just bad, bro. Like,
all right, so let's go on the teams with life support. So tell me if the patient is dead on life support or has a good shot at living. So let's start with the Crusaders. Crusaders have at the Golden Lions.
okay. Oh, they losing that one.
0-4. Then they have home against the Kingston Lions.
Home against the Kingston Lions. See, like I said, it's hard for me to judge that because I don't know anything about the Kingston Lions. But if I know the Crusaders, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot, so they're going to lose that.
Gotcha. So that game, I agree with you, is going to be their do or die game. Like that's gonna be an elimination game for them. And then they have at the Green Wave. Okay. And then at the Dolphins. So if they go into the Dolphins game, she's 1-5. That's
1 second, bro.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
That Dolphins game, I don't know how that one going to turn out because freaking as good as the Dolphins is, and as bad as the Crusaders are, the Crusaders still have more experience. You know what I'm saying? In those in these kind of situations. So I don't really like as good as the Dolphins were against the Golden Lions. Like I said, the experience of the Crusaders might give them an edge, but it might be real fucking close. I can't call that one for real.
Gotcha. So now here's the thing. I would agree with you, but it also means the fact that they're playing the last game of the season. Here's the tough part. Who is playing for their lives or who is basically just playing to finish their season. So Crusaders at that point might already be eliminated mathematically.
Yeah, but they still gonna show up and ball out. They love Swan too much. They love their organization too much, bro. I can't even drive through Crown Heights half the time without seeing them running down the street in their Crusaders gear, fucking just
Nice.
jogging. You
Love
know what I'm
that.
saying? They
Absolutely.
love their shit. And as far as the Dolphins go, the Dolphins have a lot of young cats over there, so I don't know what their mentality is going to be with being so low ending it. You know, a lot of guys when they're young and they haven't won it, they're like, man, fuck this team. I'm going to school. I'm going to go do this. This your ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how invested the newer players are on that team because a lot of the newer players are brand new, young. They watching a lot of other teams around here really eat, and they stuck in a situation where they're not really winning. So, you know, our younger generation, they're very fragile when it comes to their ego and how they look as far as winning and losing.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying? Because even so, when the Dolphins first started, they had like a quarterback and a receiver that was dogs. And after that first year, I didn't see them no more. You get what I'm saying?
So let's look at the Dolphins schedule and see what they're going to be looking like when they meet up with the Crusaders. Dolphins are at the Panthers. Well, that's a winnable game.
That's definitely winnable.
Then they have the Hurricanes, which Hurricanes and Dolphins, that's an intriguing matchup football-wise for me.
Listen,
I want to see that game.
The Hurricanes with number 3 at the helm is a way better team than the Hurricanes with number 14 at the helm.
I would agree with that.
Like I said, they just need more players with some heart because half the team got heart and half don't. But I will take my hats off to 3, 21, 2, number 1, and it's some like skinny cat playing safety. Dawson, I don't know his name or number,
Right.
but I hats off to them cats on that team. As far as a lot of the rest of them, they're just kind of just out there to be out there. Now, also, what they need to not do is in semi-pro, with the way that these guys don't practice their pass rush abilities, you should not be in a 3-man front. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're going to be in a 3-man front, you got to at least have some, like, walk down the edge rushes. You have nobody contain, like, their ends are lining up inside the tackles. That's terrible work.
Yeah, that's bad for business.
Yeah, so they got to fix a lot of coaching errors. You know what I'm saying? Because the players, you know, the least you can do is put them in position to be successful. Everything else is on them, but they weren't put in a position to be successful, and that's where halftime we took advantage of that. You get what I'm saying?
So players, I agree with that 100%. Players that believe in their coaching and coaching that allows them to anticipate what's happening in front of them, whereas if they're trying to find it out on their own, that's when you see a West barreling down on you and you make a business decision because you didn't anticipate it. You know what I'm saying? So, understood. The Dolphins have at Panthers, Hurricanes, winnable game. At the Kingston Lions, which for them might be a playoff game.
Well, wait. I don't want to say that the Dolphins are walking away with the Hurricanes victory outright. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that there's a chance they can lose, but it's more. I give it like 75-25.
75-25.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, so we can move on with that.
So you tell me in or out, because here's the thing. With the Bengals having 2 wins right now, they're kind of in the driver's seat, even though they have the hardest schedule from here on out. Bengals have at the Green Wave, the Wolfpack, and then at the Kingston Lions.
I think that Wolfpack game might come down to whoever got the ball last. Because it's going to be about maybe 6 possessions total.
Right.
So, you know, that's probably going to go down to whoever got the ball last. It's probably going to end fucking 6-8. Like, that's how I see that game going.
Right. I agree. So let's say the Bengals are in with, actually, no. I can't even say Bengals are in safely right now if they end up with 2 wins. Possibly a third. Yeah, I don't see them as in. So let's play the in and out game. Bengals, Canes, Crusaders, Dolphins. 2 got to go in and 2 are out.
Bengals, Canes. Okay, so out would be I would say I would be Canes for the Dolphins. Um, and that's the only switch I would make for real.
Canes for the Dolphins. You're thinking Bengals and Dolphins are in. Canes and Crusaders are out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Should be interesting. All right. And that is that. So here's the updated rankings from 1 all the way down to 28. I posted it up earlier on. Not much movement on the back end from 11 to 28. I did make a few movements, just based on the eye test and seeing consistency across the board with whoever it is that lost, whether they were more impressive in their loss or less impressive in their loss. And then the real shakeup occurred, obviously, with the Warhawks dropping because of their ugly loss against the Ducks. Could not put the Ducks behind the Warhawks since the Ducks went up there and beat them head to head. It's too damn early.
It's later than usual, bro.
Later than usual, it definitely is. And on the Easter Sunday, I gave y'all some extra time.
I used to be mad. I wake up and you ending at like 9 o'clock.
So the Wolf Pack are the team that is kind of like hanging out, just waiting for somebody to make a mistake to kind of creep into maybe even the top 6, top 5, possible.
They definitely can. Like it's a hell of a lot of time left. Shit, they might be able to hop into the number 5 spot depending on what the Falcons do.
Yeah, but the problem is if the Falcons or anybody for that matter, if they hop out, the unit, I'm ready to move up because the unit might have had one hiccup, but when it comes to their 4 wins have been quality wins and have been like without a doubt like solid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Solid on the scoreboard. So, and that is pretty much.
And you still see Butler still got juice in the tank.
Indeed. So, but that is it for me. I'm gonna let everybody head to the Easter festivities. Thank you for spending time with us today, Wes.
All right. Later, yeah.
Later. All right. So, yeah, big shout out all the teams. You got my Dolphins gear on. Big shout out to Bronx Colts, by the way. Anybody who has gear, whether on their website or at games and such, give me a heads up. 2XL, I'm paying no problem. Appreciate I'm supporting everybody's programs like they supported mine in the past. Appreciate y'all for that. This upcoming week, we have some games. I think I went over the games. Thought I went over the games. And in those games, maybe I didn't go over the games. I did go over the games. Rankings, games. So some of the game of the week for me is going to be the Green Wave at the Kingston Lions. I'll be up in Kingston, New York, calling that game for HSG. Big shout out to all the media folks that are covering these games and getting a lot of film so that we can enjoy this sport of ours and continue to support people's programs and such. Game of the week in the NEAFL definitely is that Tide Wolfpack game, Battle of the First State, that Delaware matchup that we've been anticipating. We were hoping that the Wolfpack would go into that one also undefeated, but the Tide are the ones that held serve and are currently at 5-0. And in the ECFL game of the week, and I think the game of the week overall, is the Cardinals at the Ducks, with those teams kind of fighting. Well, the Cardinals definitely fighting for their playoff lives, and the Ducks trying to show that they can be consistent and win games against quality competition and top competition. So that is pretty much it. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with me today for another episode of Way Too Early with Pat Bleezy. It's your boy Pat.